Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, where did I go? Not the woman on the outside, the one with silver in her hair and stories in her eyes, but the woman on the inside, the spark, the presence, the glow you used to carry without effort. You walk into a room with grace, wisdom, and a life hard-earned, and yet somehow it's like no one really sees you anymore, not like they used to. It's not that you've faded, it's that the world has forgotten how to look. But here's something most women were never taught. It's not your age, it's not your shape, and it's definitely not your worth. It's the colors you wear. Color is the first thing the human brain registers long before your smile, your eyes, or even the words you speak. And at this stage in life, color becomes your most powerful tool. It can soften your features, lift your skin tone, light up your eyes, and it can reignite how the world responds to you. What if you discovered that a few simple changes in your wardrobe could make people see you differently, speak to you with more warmth, compliment you more often, that the right colors could turn strangers' heads, and remind you of just how magnetic you really are? Today you'll learn the 8 most powerful colors women over 60 can wear to look and feel vibrant, radiant, and beautifully visible again. And most of all, these colors make men notice you instantly. But that's not all. You'll also learn how to choose the colors that are right for you, for your skin tone, your energy, and the unique brilliance you carry. And just as important, we'll uncover the subtle, overlooked color mistakes many women make without realizing it. The quiet wardrobe choices that may be muting your glow, making you appear tired or even older than you feel. You'll know what to embrace and what to leave behind. And before we begin, I'd love to know, where in the world are you watching from today? Drop your city in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more life-changing style secrets created just for women like you. Because it's time for you to stop blending in and start stepping into your light again. Let's begin. Here's something no one tells you enough. Most of the impression someone forms about you has absolutely nothing to do with what you say. It's not your words, it's not your posture, it's not even your smile, it's your presence. And the first thing people respond to before they even know they're doing it is the color you wear. This isn't guesswork, it's science. According to studies from Harvard, the National Institute on Aging, and the Journal of Psychology and Aging, nearly 85% of first impressions are driven by visual cues. And the very first thing the brain notices? Not your silhouette, not your style, color. Color registers in the brain faster than shape, faster than movement, and yes, even faster than facial expression. In just a few seconds, the shades you wear begin telling a story about who you are, how you feel, and how others should respond to you. And for women over 60, this becomes even more powerful, because we've entered a new season. As we age, our features shift, skin tone softens, hair lightens. The natural contrast that once made colors pop in our 30s or 40s begins to change. That doesn't make you any less radiant, but it does mean the same colors you wore 20 years ago might not be doing you any favors now. In fact, some of them may be quietly working against you, washing you out, making you look tired, or even dulling your presence without you realizing it. But here's the good news. You don't need an entire new wardrobe. You don't need to fix anything. You simply need to choose colors that support you now. Colors that lift your face, soften your features, and light you up from within. Colors that align with the grace, wisdom, and confidence you already carry, because they reflect it right back to the world. This isn't about dressing to impress anyone. It's about dressing in a way that reflects the woman you've become. Powerful, elegant, full of life. And to show you just how real this transformation can be, let me introduce you to a woman who rediscovered her spark. Not with a makeover, not with a new haircut, but with one bold, beautiful choice of color. Let me tell you about Elaine. She's 67, retired just a few years ago after decades of juggling work, family, and everything in between. Like many women in her stage of life, she reached a point where getting dressed became routine. Comfortable, yes, but also invisible. Her wardrobe? Neutrals. Lots of beige, a little gray, soft browns. Nothing wrong with that. But over time, Elaine noticed something. She'd go out, grocery store, community events, even family gatherings, and it was like she'd vanished into the background. People were polite, but no one really saw her. Then, one afternoon while shopping with her daughter, something unexpected happened. She picked up an emerald green blouse. It was bold, brighter than anything she'd worn in years. Her first instinct was to put it back, but her daughter said, "Just try it." That evening, she wore it out to a local arts fundraiser. Not a formal event, just a relaxed evening with music and wine. And for the first time in a long time, people turned to greet her. Strangers complimented her smile. A gentleman offered her a seat and struck up a conversation. Even the woman running the raffle leaned in and said, "You're glowing tonight." Elaine didn't change her hairstyle. She didn't lose weight. She didn't try a new face cream. She changed just one simple thing: her color. That one choice brought her back into the light. She felt energized, not because others noticed her, but because she noticed herself again. That's the quiet power color holds, and today, I'm going to show you how to tap into that same magic, starting with a guide to the 8 colors that turn heads, lift spirits, and help women over 60 feel undeniably radiant. Before we dive in, here's what to expect. We're not just naming colors and calling it a day. This isn't one of those surface-level style lists. We're going deeper into the reason why these colors matter, how they shift the way others see you, how they shape the energy you carry into a room, and most importantly, how they can bring out your natural glow at this stage of life. You'll see how to wear each color with intention, whether that's through a bold dress, a subtle accessory, or even just a perfectly placed scarf. You'll understand which shades flatter your skin tone and when to wear them for the most impact, because timing and placement matter just as much as the color itself. Now, if you're wondering, will this really work for me? Let me reassure you, this isn't fashion theory, it's backed by science. Psychologists from Harvard and the National Institute on Aging have studied how color affects attention and perception, especially as we age, and here's what they found. Certain colors don't just enhance appearance, they increase the way others engage with you. They help people focus on your face, they bring warmth to your features. They even influence how approachable and confident you appear, before you say a word. In fact, studies show that people make up their mind about someone within just a few seconds, and over 80% of that first impression is driven by visual cues. Color is the first thing the brain processes. It's immediate, it's powerful, and it's something you can control. Women over 60 who embraced these color strategies reported feeling more confident, more visible, and yes, more attractive. Many found themselves getting compliments from people they'd known for years. Others said their partners, friends, even strangers looked at them with a kind of fresh attention, not because they changed who they were, but because they finally gave themselves permission to be seen again. And that's exactly what I want for you. Stick with me to the end of this video, because I'm going to walk you through all 8 of these powerful colors. I'll also show you how to choose the ones that fit you, and which 3 to quietly retire if you want to avoid looking washed out or overlooked. And if this is already speaking to something inside you, if you've ever looked in the mirror and thought, "I know there's more in me than what others are seeing," then I'd love to invite you to subscribe. I make videos just like this, designed for women like you who are ready to show up with confidence, style, and joy on their own terms. Now let's begin with the color that has never gone out of style and never will. Bold, beautiful, unapologetic. Let's begin with red. Not just any red, but the kind of red that's rich, refined, and unmistakably elegant. The kind that carries weight without shouting, that turns a glance into a second look, that doesn't overpower you, but partners with your presence like quiet strength. This isn't fire engine red or anything neon. We're talking about classic reds. Deep cherry, wine, crimson, ruby. These are shades that don't try to be loud, they just are. Red has always stood for vitality and presence, but it also carries a fascinating advantage that science backs up. Studies in behavioral psychology have shown that red naturally draws attention, especially from men. It triggers focus, warmth, a kind of pull that people can't always explain, but they feel it. More importantly, red has an effect on you. It's been linked to increased self-assurance, improved posture, and even more eye contact in social settings. Not because of the fabric, but because of the energy it gives you. Patricia, 69, a retired teacher from Charleston, had always stayed in the background at family events, polite tones, minimal accessories. Then one day, she wore a fitted red dress, Nothing too flashy, but bold enough to be noticed, and that's exactly what happened. She walked into her nephew's wedding and felt eyes lift toward her. Compliments came from every direction. Her sister asked if she'd lost weight. A man she hadn't seen in years smiled and said, "You look like you run this place." That red dress didn't make her younger. It didn't change her personality. It simply allowed her to be seen again for who she truly is. Now, if you're hesitant, you don't have to dive straight into a head-to-toe red outfit. Start small. A silk scarf, a pendant, a lipstick that adds just the right hint of boldness. Even a red handbag against a neutral coat can change the way you're received. If your skin leans cool, reach for reds with a blue base, like ruby or raspberry. If you're warm-toned, go for golden reds, like brick or coral. And for deeper skin tones, rich burgundy, cranberry, or oxblood will create an unforgettable contrast. The secret isn't just wearing red, it's choosing the one that speaks your language. Red doesn't whisper. It doesn't shout either. It simply walks into the room and waits for the world to catch up. Now, from bold elegance to calm authority, let's move to a color that doesn't need to impress. It earns respect the moment you put it on. Now let's talk about navy blue, the color that doesn't fight for attention yet earns it anyway. Navy is one of those rare shades that speaks with authority without raising its voice. It's timeless, grounded, and especially for women over 60, it brings a kind of polished calm that says, "I know who I am, and I don't need to prove it." What makes navy so powerful is its balance. It has the elegance and sophistication of black, but without the harshness. True black can sometimes create too much contrast, especially as our features soften over time. It can cast shadows where we don't want them and make the face look a bit drawn. Navy, on the other hand, adds depth without stealing light. It complements silver hair beautifully, warms cooler complexions, and gives structure to an outfit without making it feel heavy. This color is also linked to qualities like wisdom, trust, and credibility. In fact, it's the go-to color in politics and business for a reason. But here's the thing. It's not just for boardrooms or speeches. Navy belongs in your everyday wardrobe because of how versatile and flattering it is. Carol, a 72-year-old retired guidance counselor from Seattle, shared a story that says it all. She had always leaned on soft earth tones, browns, taupes, and creams, thinking they were the most age-appropriate. Nothing wrong with them, but they didn't give her much presence. At her granddaughter's graduation, she decided, almost on impulse, to wear a navy blue wrap dress. It had a simple silhouette, a little movement at the hem, and just the right weight in the fabric. She didn't add a lot. A pearl necklace, a nude pump. That's it. That day, people kept approaching her. One woman said she looked elegant. A young man handed her a program and said, "You must be someone important." Even the photographer asked if she could step into the edge of the family photo. Carol didn't change her haircut. She didn't buy anything new except that one dress. But something shifted. She felt anchored, put together, and others noticed. Navy does that. It supports you, lifts you, frames you. It's not loud, but it is unforgettable. If you're wondering how to add it to your wardrobe, start with a tailored navy blazer. It sharpens jeans and elevates a casual top. A navy sheath dress is perfect for dinners, events, even Sunday brunch. And if you prefer soft layers, a navy cardigan over a white blouse creates that crisp, clean contrast that draws the eye to your face. You can pair navy with almost anything: ivory, blush, emerald, even red for a bold contrast. And unlike true black, navy looks equally stunning in daylight and evening settings. It adapts, it balances, and it flatters, consistently. Navy isn't trying to be youthful, it's confident in its maturity, and that's exactly why it works so well for you. Next, let's move to a shade that doesn't just elevate your look, it wraps you in richness, creativity, and quiet elegance. Now let's talk about a color that was never meant to hide, not in history, not in fashion, and definitely not on a woman who knows her worth. Royal purple. This isn't the soft lavender of spring scarves or the faded violet on a floral print. This is deep, regal, unmistakable purple. The kind worn by queens, by leaders, by women who carry themselves with quiet command. Royal purple is unique because it balances two powerful forces. It holds the intensity of red and the calm of blue, giving it strength without harshness. It feels grounded but never dull. It draws attention, not because it begs for it, but because it holds a kind of richness that naturally pulls the eye in. For women over 60, royal purple works like a charm. If you've ever felt like your skin looks a little washed out in pastels or neutrals, try purple. On deeper skin, it brings out warmth and depth. On cool undertones, it adds vibrance and life. And for silver, white, or salt and pepper hair, it turns that natural shine into something that looks intentional, elevated, stunning. Margaret, 74, had always dressed with simplicity. A few cardigans, soft pants, mostly beige, navy, the occasional cream. Then her niece asked her to help host a wedding, stand near the bride, greet guests, and basically be the face of the family that day. Margaret decided she was done blending in. She found a royal purple gown, nothing over the top, clean lines, a soft sheen, 3/4 sleeves, and a neckline that framed her face perfectly. When she walked into that venue, people turned. Not because she wore something flashy, but because she looked like she belonged in the spotlight. Guests whispered things like, "She looks incredible." Her sister told her, "I don't know what it is, but you're glowing." And Margaret felt it too. Something in her straightened. Her voice carried a little more. She didn't rush through conversations. She owned her space. That's what royal purple can do. It doesn't wear you, you wear it. And when you do, you don't just look good. You feel certain, poised, seen. If you're curious how to bring it into your wardrobe, start small. A rich purple scarf over a cream blouse, a statement necklace in plum or amethyst, a tailored blazer that you throw over black pants or a midi skirt. For a special event, a full dress in royal purple paired with silver or pearl accessories delivers unforgettable elegance. Purple pairs beautifully with ivory, charcoal, navy, and metallics. And it looks just as polished in the day as it does at night. It's not for when you want to blend in. It's for when you're ready to take your space gracefully, unapologetically. Now, from the richness of royalty to the grounded beauty of nature, let's explore a color that brings renewal, confidence, and unexpected warmth. Emerald green. Now let's turn to a color that feels like fresh air after a long winter. Emerald green. This shade is rich without being loud, calming without being dull. It brings the vitality of spring, the depth of nature, and a touch of luxury that never feels overdone. Emerald green isn't a background color. It invites attention in the most grounded, graceful way. For women over 60, emerald green works wonders. As our skin tone shifts and our natural contrast softens, we need colors that bring us forward, not ones that fade us out. Emerald green does just that. It's one of the few hues that flatters nearly every complexion. If you have fair skin, it adds a healthy glow. If your skin is deep or golden, it creates striking contrast. And if your hair is silver or white, emerald turns it into a crown. But what makes this shade special isn't just how it looks, it's how it makes you feel. There's something energizing about emerald. Studies in color psychology have linked green to renewal, balance, and connection. It's restful to the eyes and instantly calming, which explains why it's so often used in spaces meant to soothe. But emerald takes it one step further. It has weight, elegance. And when you wear it, it signals confidence that doesn't need to announce itself. Susan, 65, shared a story that stuck with me. After retiring from teaching, she found herself in a bit of a style slump. She wasn't unhappy, just uninspired. Her wardrobe had become practical, predictable. One day, she saw an emerald green coat on a clearance rack. She wasn't sure it was her style, but something about it drew her in. She wore it to the Saturday farmer's market. Nothing fancy underneath, just a white tee and jeans. But the coat made all the difference. People stopped to chat. A stranger complimented her outfit. An old friend said she looked refreshed. And the truth was, she felt that way too. That coat didn't change her. It just reminded her of what she hadn't seen in herself in a while. If you're ready to add emerald green to your wardrobe, there are so many ways to make it work. A tailored coat like Susan's can be your statement piece. A silk blouse in emerald paired with ivory pants creates effortless elegance. Even a soft cashmere sweater in this tone can bring new life to your everyday style. Accessories work too. Think gemstone earrings, a scarf, or even an emerald clutch. This color pairs beautifully with neutrals like camel, navy, gray, and cream. It also works well with other jewel tones, especially if you want to layer richness without clashing. Emerald green doesn't just help you look vibrant, it helps you feel aligned, strong, present, like yourself, but recharged. And if you're enjoying this so far and these color insights are giving you ideas you can't wait to try, go ahead and subscribe. This channel is all about helping women like you rediscover their voice, their glow, and their visibility through timeless style and real-life confidence. From vibrant and grounded, we now move to something delicate, a shade that softens, flatters, and brings a quiet elegance to every woman who wears it. Soft peach. Now let's explore a shade that doesn't just complement your features, it enhances them. Soft peach. This is one of the quietest colors on the list, but don't underestimate its impact. Soft peach works like natural light. It doesn't draw attention with intensity, but rather with glow. It reflects warmth onto your skin, softens fine lines, and creates the illusion of freshness and rest. Peach is often overlooked because it's subtle, but that's exactly where its power lies. Unlike stark pinks or loud oranges, peach feels gentle, approachable. It adds a healthy flush to the skin, making your complexion appear smoother and more vibrant. For women over 60, that's gold. It lifts your features instead of fighting them. What makes soft peach especially versatile is how it flatters everyone. Cool undertones, it brings warmth without clashing. Warm undertones, it blends naturally and brightens the face. And when paired with pearl accessories or gold jewelry, it takes on a quiet sophistication that never tries too hard. Let me tell you about Linda. She's 68, recently retired. Still active, still sharp, but she told me she'd started to feel flat. Not invisible exactly, but no longer radiant. Her wardrobe was full of dark tones. Functional, yes, but uninspiring. Her daughter took her shopping for her birthday and nudged her toward a peach cashmere sweater. Linda was hesitant. "It'll make me look washed out," she said, but she tried it anyway. The following weekend, she wore that sweater to brunch with a few old friends. Nothing fancy, just eggs, laughter, and catching up. But something shifted. 3 separate people complimented her look. One friend said she looked soft and rested. The waiter, about 15 years her junior, smiled and said, "That color suits you." And as they were leaving, a gentleman at the next table asked if she came there often and offered to walk her to her car. Linda didn't change her routine. She didn't buy a whole new wardrobe. She just chose a color that worked with her, not against her. That's the beauty of peach. It doesn't announce itself. It elevates you. If you want to incorporate soft peach into your look, start with a blouse in a lightweight fabric chiffon, or silk if you want something flowy, or a knit if you want comfort. A peach cardigan over a white top is perfect for layering. Even a scarf with peach undertones can brighten your entire outfit. You can also explore peach-toned accessories, drop earrings, nail polish, or a soft blush lipstick. Pair it with colors like cream, soft gray, denim blue, or even olive green. It creates a relaxed, polished look that says you've got style without trying to prove it. Peach is gentle, but it's far from dull. It's the color of self-assurance wrapped in softness, the kind of elegance that whispers rather than waves. And now let's turn up the richness with a shade that exudes depth, maturity, and quiet strength, rich burgundy. Now let's step into a color that speaks with quiet certainty, rich burgundy. This shade is often associated with deep wine, autumn leaves, and old-world elegance. It's not showy, but it carries an unmistakable richness. Burgundy doesn't flash, it lingers. It holds your gaze not because it demands attention, but because it feels like it knows something you don't. For women over 60, burgundy offers something truly special. As our coloring softens with age, some vibrant shades can feel overpowering, while others fall flat. Burgundy strikes the perfect middle. It adds warmth and depth without overwhelming. It brings a refined energy, one that suggests composure, strength, and experience. It also happens to look incredibly elevated. Even a simple burgundy sweater gives the impression that the woman wearing it has taste. Pair it with a camel coat or soft gray trousers and suddenly your outfit looks curated, effortless, complete. Janet, 71, found this out by accident. She had been looking for a winter coat, something warm but with some style, her words, not mine. She was used to wearing black or dark gray, easy choices. But while browsing one day, she came across a burgundy wool coat. Clean lines, a belt at the waist, slight structure in the shoulders. It was unlike anything she'd worn in years. At first she hesitated. Was it too bold? Too rich? But she tried it on. The mirror didn't lie. It lit up her cheeks, made her hair look brighter. She looked present, polished, like herself, but more intentional. She bought the coat. And over that winter, something changed. Friends commented, strangers noticed. At the holiday market downtown, one woman tapped her on the shoulder and said, "You look like you walked out of a magazine." Janet now calls it her winter secret weapon. If you want to explore burgundy for yourself, consider a few staples. A knit turtleneck in burgundy pairs beautifully with dark denim or tailored slacks. A velvet blazer in this shade instantly turns a basic outfit into something remarkable. Handbags, gloves, and scarves in burgundy add richness without overpowering your look. And for special occasions, a deep burgundy dress with a simple neckline and classic earrings is unforgettable. Burgundy pairs well with cream, taupe, navy, and even blush. You can dress it up or down depending on the fabric and cut. And the best part? It transitions easily across seasons. It feels cozy in winter and earthy in fall, but just as stunning with whites and golds in early spring. This color doesn't chase compliments, it collects them. From rich and refined, we now shift into something more playful, a color full of brightness, charm, and joy. Let's step into sunny yellow. Now let's bring in a little sunshine. Literally, sunny yellow. This is the color that carries happiness in its fabric. It lifts a room, turns heads, and instantly brightens the person wearing it. But here's the beautiful thing about yellow. It doesn't just make you look energized. It makes you feel that way. For women over 60, yellow is often the color we avoid without realizing why. Maybe we tried it once years ago and felt it was too bold, too loud, or too youthful. But the right yellow, the right one, can be one of the most flattering, joyful, and magnetic colors in your entire wardrobe. The secret is in the tone. You don't need highlighter yellow or anything blinding. What flatters mature skin are soft, buttery shades, think goldenrod, marigold, pale amber, or a warm pastel yellow. These tones draw light to your face. They reflect onto your skin, warming your complexion and giving you that well-rested, well-traveled kind of beauty. And yellow is more than just a cheerful shade. Color psychology studies have found that yellow triggers feelings of optimism and connection. It's associated with friendliness, warmth, and vitality. It's no surprise that people respond to it almost immediately. Dorothy, 67, had always stayed in the navy, olive, and cream zone. Nothing wrong with it, but she said it all started to blend together after a while. Then one spring, her daughter bought her a yellow blouse. Not bright. Just soft, with a subtle floral pattern and a gentle neckline. Dorothy wore it to a garden party. The setting was relaxed, the weather was perfect, and she said the blouse felt like she was wearing sunshine. Guests greeted her with more energy, friends asked if she'd been traveling. One woman leaned in and said, "You're glowing today." And here's the thing, Dorothy hadn't done anything different. Just that blouse, that color. That quiet invitation for joy. If you're looking to add yellow into your wardrobe, ease into it. A pastel yellow blouse with white trousers, a golden scarf against a denim jacket, a marigold cardigan layered over a neutral dress. You don't have to go head to E. Even a yellow clutch or silk hair accessory can add that touch of radiance. Yellow pairs beautifully with gray, navy, cream, olive, and light blue. And because it draws attention upward, it's perfect near the face, especially in photos or social settings where you want to look present and lit from within. Sunny yellow isn't just cheerful, it's magnetic. It says you're open, vibrant, and full of life without needing to say a word. And now we move into a shade that is the very definition of timeless elegance. A color that doesn't try to impress, yet always does, pure ivory. Now let's talk about a shade that whispers elegance the moment it enters the room. Pure ivory. Ivory is often mistaken for white, but they're not the same. While stark white can sometimes feel too sharp or clinical, especially as our features soften with age, every ivory offers warmth. It's the softened version of white, creamy, delicate, classic, and far more flattering on mature skin. For women over 60, pure ivory does something special. It doesn't fight your features, it supports them. It reflects a soft light onto your face, smooths the edges, and brings a refined glow that's neither loud nor dull. It gives your complexion space to breathe, especially if your hair has gone silver, white, or platinum. But the beauty of ivory goes beyond how it looks. It carries a sense of calm, clarity, presence. It's often associated with simplicity, but in a way that feels intentional, created. It's the color of a woman who doesn't chase attention but receives it anyway. Elizabeth, 74, had always leaned toward darker tones. She said they felt safer, less likely to draw attention. But when she was invited to speak at a formal event, an anniversary gala for a local foundation, she decided to try something different: a tailored ivory pantsuit. Clean lines, soft structure, paired with a pearl necklace and matching earrings, she told me that evening felt like stepping into a new chapter. She didn't need to say much. The way she walked into that room said everything. People greeted her differently. She said even her posture changed. I felt like the best version of myself, she told me. That's the power of ivory. It's not reserved for weddings or summer brunches. You can wear it anywhere and the effect is always polished. An ivory blouse under a camel coat, an ivory midi dress with soft gold accents, an ivory scarf paired with charcoal or navy, even a knit sweater in this shade, worn with jeans and flats, can elevate your entire look. Ivory also makes a perfect canvas for accessories. Gold, pearl, rose tones, even coral, they all stand out beautifully against its softness. And because it doesn't compete with your natural coloring, it lets your face shine without distraction. This is the color of grace. Not forced, not staged, just natural, confident elegance that only deepens with age. So now you've seen all 8 colors each, with its own power, its own message, and its own way of bringing your presence forward. But before you start updating your wardrobe, there's one more thing you need to know. Not every color works for everyone, and there are a few that, without meaning to, might actually be hiding your light. Let's talk about that next. Now that we've explored the 8 colors that bring out your brilliance, let's talk about a few that may be quietly working against you. Because while the right shade can make your features glow and your energy feel magnetic, the wrong one can have the opposite effect, and it often happens without you even noticing. Let's start with dull beige and stone gray. These are the shades many women fall back on because they feel safe. They don't draw attention. They match everything. But here's the issue. These tones can actually pull the life right out of your complexion. Especially as skin loses some of its natural contrast with age, dull colors can make your face appear tired, even when you feel completely rested. They blur the edges instead of defining them. They mute your expression rather than highlighting it. If you've ever looked in the mirror and thought, "Why do I look drained even though I slept well?" It could be the color you're wearing. Next, let's talk about solid black. Now, black has its place. It's slimming, classic, and strong. But on mature skin, especially near the face, it can be unforgiving. Black creates deep contrast, which is great for drama, but not always kind to softened features. It can cast shadows that exaggerate lines, and it tends to draw attention downward unless it's carefully styled. If you love black, and many women do, try wearing it away from the face, or soften it with a colorful scarf or bold earrings. You don't need to eliminate it, just rethink how you use it. And then there are the neon tones, bright, sharp, and jarring. These shades have their place on billboards and party decor, but when it comes to clothing, they often fight against your natural elegance. Neon doesn't flatter, it competes. It pulls focus away from your face, overwhelms your presence, and creates tension where there should be ease. Instead of lifting you, it pushes everything else out of the picture. The goal with color isn't to shout, it's to support, to highlight what's already beautiful. You don't need extremes, you need harmony. That's why choosing colors with intention matters. The right shades won't just make you look good, they'll help you feel more like yourself. And now that you know what to reach for and what to leave behind, let's talk about how to find the colors that are meant just for you. The ones that will flatter your skin, match your undertone, and bring out your very best features. Every single time. Now let's bring it all together. Because knowing which colors work in theory is one thing, but knowing which colors are made for you, that's where the real magic happens. It starts with something simple but powerful. Your undertone. Not your surface skin tone, but the natural tint beneath it. Your undertone stays consistent, even if your outer complexion changes with sun or age. The easiest way to get a clue is to look at the veins on the inside of your wrist in natural daylight. If your veins look bluish or purple, chances are you have cool undertones. You'll shine in jewel tones like sapphire blue, emerald green, royal purple, and ruby red. These colors bring clarity to your features and a soft radiance to your skin. If your veins appear more greenish, you likely have warm undertones. Earthy shades work beautifully for you. Think coral, golden yellow, burnt orange, terracotta, warm peach. These colors give you a sun-kissed glow, even on a cloudy day. And if you're seeing a mix of both, or if you can't quite tell, you may have neutral undertones, the best of both worlds. This means you can wear both cool and warm tones, though you may find you look especially striking in rich, muted shades like teal, rose, or deep taupe. Once you've figured out your undertone, the next step is to test colors next to your face in natural light. Not store lighting, not a fluorescent bathroom. Natural light is where your skin tells the truth. Stand near a window with a mirror. Hold up different fabrics, blouses or scarves, whatever you have on hand. Watch your face, not the color. If your skin looks more even, your eyes appear brighter, and your face seems smoother, you've found a winner. If you look tired, washed out, or your skin takes on a dull cast, try another shade. Pay attention to how you feel, too. A good color doesn't just flatter you. You'll notice your posture shifts, your expression softens. You feel more like yourself, and others will pick up on that without knowing why. This isn't about rules, it's about discovering the tones that celebrate you, exactly as you are. So trust your mirror, trust your instinct, and once you find your colors, wear them often, wear them proudly, and let them speak on your behalf. This has never just been about fashion. It's not about trends, runways, or dressing to impress someone else. It's about returning to yourself, the version of you that still turns heads, not because of the clothes you wear, but because of the presence you bring when you feel aligned, strong, and fully alive. Color is one of the simplest ways to bring that version of you forward. It's more than fabric. It's a reflection of energy. It speaks before you do. It lifts your posture, it softens your expression, it reminds you and everyone around you that your light is still shining, and it deserves to be seen. You've lived through decades of change, you've raised families, built careers, navigated heartbreak, and celebrated joy. You've led quietly and boldly, you've been the one others leaned on. Now it's time for your presence to reflect that depth, that fire, that grace. This isn't about dressing up for the world, this is about showing up for yourself, in colors that match your wisdom, your warmth, and your beauty. So, which color are you most excited to try this week? I'd love to know. Drop it in the comments. Maybe it's the royal purple that makes you feel grounded, or maybe it's that bold red you haven't worn since your 40s, but suddenly feels right again. Or maybe it's one you've never tried before, but now you're ready to. And if you've ever had a moment where someone looked at you differently because of a color you wore, where you felt seen, radiant, or simply more you, share that story too. Someone else might need to hear it. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because this space is for women who know that style doesn't expire and neither does confidence. There's so much more ahead. Until next time, wear what makes you feel powerful, and never underestimate the woman in the right color.